So in this video, I want to talk about a set that is sort of weird. It's sort of talked about, it's sort of not. It's kind of in the middle. Some people really like the set, some people are just like, eh. And in this video, I wanted to talk about my opinions about this set. And, spoiler alert, I don't really think it's all that great. And I'm going to explain why. So just me saying that it's not that great, I mean, obviously that's subjective, right? Because art is subjective. We all know this. But if you look at, just what the set actually is, as far as I can see, which obviously I can be wrong in the future, this is following a, very similar pattern to another set from Sword and Shield. And I wanted to show you guys that. And you guys can let me know, do you agree with this comparison or do you think I'm wrong? But Paradox Rift, is a set that's talked about a little bit. And, the big reason why it's only even really talked about is because it's going out of rotation early next year. That is literally the only reason why that it gets talked about somewhat. Because other than that, I'm pretty sure if it was still in rotation, like Temporal Forces, people really wouldn't talk about it because there's no real significant thing that's happening to the set, because Paradox and Temporal are both kind of like mid-tier, lower-end sets. But Paradox Rift, it does have that factor, right? I guess that, lower downside risk factor of it going out of print early next year. So it is somewhat talked about as being a safe investment. But you guys know that, I don't always go for just the safest stuff. I look at, the potential of a set. And when I look at Paradox Rift, I don't see great potential. There is that few percent chance that this thing skyrockets, right? Nobody sees it coming because we all know that's possible. But just looking at the data and what's been going on with the set recently, it's showing no signs of that. But hey, maybe that means it does have that chance in the future. But if you look at what's happened to Paradox Rift in the past few months, you can see that at one point it ran up, right? This was the buyout everybody knows about. It got bought out and prices skyrocketed from $260 all the way to $325. Obviously, this was artificial. So naturally, it started to go down because, it got pumped up. And now it's actually gone lower than it was before the big buyout. Now it's at $230. Now, you might notice something interesting here. Sales volume really has not increased all that much since it's gone down like about $100. Obviously, we are in more of a downturn in the market than we were a couple months ago. But, I mean, a box to drop by like 33%, by a third, and for prices to be just basically as cheap as Scarlet and Violet base, and this is going out of print early next year, there really are no huge signs of strength here. I mean, this is literally one of the cheapest booster boxes in Scarlet and Violet, and prices have gone down significantly, and sales volume really has not increased that much. So there's already a sign of weakness with the set, and it's never been a super popular set. You also have to, think about this. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but I don't remember any reprints really with the set, or any notable reprints, throughout the last year or so. We got reprints of Surging Sparks. We got reprints of Twilight Masquerade, Paldea Evolved, Obsidian Flames. But I don't remember or recall there ever being a Paradox Rift reprint. So take that into account. This set, at this point, is it about 2 years old? I'm not sure. It's probably somewhere around there. It's about that old. It hasn't even got any notable reprints that I'm aware of. And it's one of the cheapest in the era. Just think about that for a second. That just shows really no big sign of popularity. And when you actually do a dive into the set, it starts to make sense. Yes, there's the Groudon, right? That's somewhat popular in this era, or I guess previous era, because now we're Mega Evolution, but it's only $86. Okay? The Altaria, somewhat kind of popular. It's $46. Roaring Moon, the next one, is $39, and basically these are only the 3 cards that are somewhat notable. Everything else here is kind of whatever, right? So the total set value is not even over $1,000, so it's all not that expensive, and just in general, just not that popular of a set. So when you look at this at face value, it just you don't see the great potential in the set. But yes, you can always argue that there is that potential in the future. It skyrockets. Is that possible? Maybe this Groudon goes crazy. Sure. But as for now, looking at this set and how it's been performing, looking at sales volume, how prices have gone down and sales volume really hasn't increased, the fact that it hasn't really gotten any reprints, at least to my knowledge, and there's no super expensive cards in the set, it doesn't seem all that great of an investment. Obviously, is there less downside risk because it does have that factor? It's going out of rotation early next year, sure, but I guess that's what you're buying into. You're not buying into a super popular set. I know this is all opinion based with artworks and stuff. I think there's some couple cool artworks. I think these are nice, but I see so many people, and it was happening before, like pumping up Paradox Rift to be this great set, and I truly don't see it. And I know it's subjective, but I really don't look here and see like, okay, there's some crazy potential. It to me is just like a kind of mid to lower tier set, especially relative to everything else in this era. Now, what this set reminds me of truly is Astral Radiance. Astral Radiance is one of those booster boxes, guys. I don't know if you guys remember. I don't know if you were here for Sword and Shield, but this really did not get reprinted. We got Lost Origin, we got Silver Tempest reprints. Well, I don't remember there being Astral Radiance, right? Like I said, to my knowledge, because I could be missing some things, but I'm pretty sure during that time I don't remember any Astral Radiance. So this really didn't get any reprints, and it is still much cheaper than any other Sword and Shield booster box, at least from Chilling Reign and up. It is the cheapest one by far. It's just not that popular, and still, you could have argued that, oh, it didn't get a reprint, there's less supply. It's performed worse because the demand for the set isn't really there. And you look at the set, there's nice artworks, right? We always talk about nice artworks. There's great artworks within the set, right? Machamp is, not very high tier alt art in the era, but the Starmie, pretty popular for a trainer gallery to be $100 plus. That's very expensive. These other cards, Dialga, Palkia, they're nice. The Garchomp, really cool, right? Some of the cool ones here. And the total set value is even higher than Paradox Rift, and it's an older set. And look at the booster box price, guys. I'm telling you, you look at the data, I mean, this set really, Paradox Rift, truly reminds me of Astral Radiance. Some people were pumping up Astral Radiance to be this sleeper play. Will it be a sleeper play in a few years? Like I said, all this stuff is possible, but what is the probability, looking at Paradox Rift, that this is going to be some crazy, set in the future? I truly don't see it. And that's kind of what I saw with Astral Radiance. I never really thought it was that great of a set. It's kind of just mid, and it shows with how it's performed. The booster box is, a lot cheaper than everything else. So Paradox Rift to me is just that set. It's kind of and it's going to perform because it's not that popular. And, I see some people, I don't know how popular of a take this is, but I remember sometimes people were comparing Paradox Rift to like the Chilling Reign of Scarlet and Violet. I don't see it. Look at Chilling Reign, guys. There's no way you can compare Paradox Rift to Chilling Reign. They're not even comparable. Chilling Reign has many alternate arts comparatively to Paradox Rift. It does not have that many SARs. The most expensive card is an IR, guys. I don't see the comparison with Chilling Reign. I think the most appropriate comparison is truly Astral Radiance, and I think Paradox Rift is going to follow similar suit. I know there's Paradox Rift believers out there, but the data isn't showing any signs of a possibility that this is going to be a crazy investment. I think it's a safer investment than other boxes, sure. Also hasn't really gotten reprinted, but like I said, with even Astral, it really didn't get reprinted. It doesn't really mean all that much if the demand isn't there. So that's all I want to talk about in this video. I know people don't care to talk about Paradox Rift, but I thought this was an interesting thing to talk about because of how cheap it is. But you look at the upside potential, it doesn't look that great in my opinion. So let me know what you guys think. Are you a Paradox Rift believer, or do you kind of believe what I do, that it's just kind of an set and it's just going to perform like that in the future? So that's all I want to say in this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.